Come join Gograva as we're doing a bike tour in Lima, Peru, along the coast from Miraflores to Barranco. It's going to be enjoyable.
This is the Vienna Bridge, right? And we have a great view of the ocean. And right now we're going to the Love Park. Have you been there? So I'm going to tell you some anecdotes and some interesting facts about the park. And of course, a little bit of our geography, how it's Lima compared with other parts of Peru. Peru is like 3 in 1. The coast, the highlands, which are the Andes for us, and the Amazon are totally different. And for example, the weather is very unstable now. In the morning we had sun, and look now how it's becoming cloudy, and we have a lot of wind. And of course, I'm going to explain you a lot of our natural phenomena about this park. For example, that was inspired in one park that exists in Barcelona, Spain. Have you been in Barcelona?
No.
Never. In Barcelona, there is one park that is very famous, and it's called the Gel Park, and was done by Antonio Gaudí, a famous Spaniard Gaudí artist. But in Peru, we have our Peruvian version of Gaudí, and his name is Victor Delfin. The creation of this was in 1993. And it's very curious how we had the creation of this park. Because in 1993, the mayor of Miraflores, that was a close friend of Victor Delfin, and he lives in Barranco, went to his house and saw a similar monument, but much smaller, made of bronze and of this size, the same, of the man kissing a girl, but made of bronze and much smaller. And the mayor told him if it was possible to make a gigantic version. And here you have the result. But 7 of 43 we have in Lima, right? Callao, on the right side. We have then San Miguel, 2.
So one of the great things I love about doing these bike tours is that you get to experience or learn more about the culture of an area than just kind of walking around. And you do it by bicycle, and you have great tour guides, and you get to see way more than if you're sitting in a bus or driving around in a car. You know, we're in the open air, and it's just amazing, fantastic to kind of be out. You see the beach there? Look at that. So we're kind of just riding along the coastline, and we started at the Parque de Amor, Park of Love, and then we had the history, some climate history on Peru and the Niños and the impact of these Niños on the climate and the local economy. Learned about the history of the wars, the war with, let's see, was it Chile and Peru? And then we also got to learn a little bit about pisco, which I never knew about, but pisco is a drink from, this may cause some controversy, but from Peru, not Chile, even though Chile says it's from Chile and they produce it more commercially, but pisco, I'm being told, is from Peru, coming from the Pisco region of Peru, which kind of makes sense. So let's continue. Can't wait to get down by the coast.
Lima, we have 24 departments. Each department has provinces. In the case of Lima, the capital has 9 provinces. And we have Lima department and Lima province again, but smaller. In Lima province, we have the metropolitan area with 43 districts, and then a rural area where we have sort of countryside. The creation of all these districts started after 1850 in the Republican times. So before, in the colonial times, when Spaniards wanted to have a wonderful view of the sea, or they wanted to come to the countryside in Lima, they used to come to Miraflores, Barranco, but at that times we didn't have these parks and infrastructure. We just had fruit trees, the creek in order to go to the ocean, so it was like a kind of recreational area for Spaniards, because everything started in the center of Lima in 1535. But then in 1870, 80 and more, we had the creation of Barranco and everything started here. Before, to have a church, we had a wooden cross. After the wooden cross, we had a chapel. After the chapel, 2 churches. And this is the last church. And we have a legend that I think it was true, that it says that a group of fishermen here in the town, in Barranco, used this kind of passageway. Please approach. You can approach. We have a beautiful passageway over there. They use the creek in order to go to the sea, making their daily activities. Fishermen take this passageway, and this was the route in order to reach the sea. And once they were taking the same, and they were sailing overseas, and they were fishing. On top, over there, in Morro Solar. So we have a great view of one of the most popular beaches in Peru. It's the most popular beach, over there, Agua Dulce. Do you understand if I say Agua Dulce?
Sweet water. Sweet water.
Sweet water, okay? And sweet water is related with chorrillos because we have the cliff, and we were talking about the chorrillos. Chorrillos are like sort of trickles, and we had these filtrations through the cliff. The people below used to watch in a certain moment, and they got impressed, and
So coming towards the end of our bike tour, we're at the top of a mountain range here, which is really a military historical area, but you have like fantastic views of Lima and Barranco and all the principalities around the area. There's a statue here of Jesus that they put up, but I think the locals now, because there was some corruption involved with it, they call it the statue of corruption, not the statue of Christ. There's also a big famous monument over there of a famous Peruvian soldier who was the, I don't know what they called him, the Caballero del Mar, which is the gentleman of the sea during the war with Chile. And we learned a lot about that here too, is there was a war between Peru and Chile for quite some time. And there's a lot of history behind that, and a lot of what's in their culture is behind that kind of, you know, that war, that conflict. And coming up last, we have the tomb of the unknown soldier for the Peruvians at the top here with the obelisk. And of course, every country around pays tribute to their soldiers and comrades who have died defending their country and their people. So it's always good to see that. When I'm traveling, I always see that everywhere I go, is the dedication to those who would sacrifice themselves for the good of their fellow countrymen. So before I end the tour, I want to go ahead and go around and actually get a shot here of the coastal region here in Lima. I have to tell you, this is just so similar to California to me. The climate, the marine layer of clouds that are in, the hills off in the distance, very similar, but we're gonna go ahead and take a look down here, coastal Lima. We actually started way back over there, made our way through Barranco. I hope I captured it good enough for everybody and the tour guide. So yeah, that's an adventure, you know, kind of a bicycle adventure. You can do a bike tour. I always feel like a bike tour is a great way to get out and see a country or a region really well and really in depth. And if you're a mountain biker, I got to tell you, like these hills over here, I see some mountain bikers going up them now, but man, that would be crazy to go downhill on. I mean, they got some crazy downhill courses for downhill mountain bikers here that, I don't know, you'd have to be a professional to do it because, man, you got to see this. Hopefully my camera does a good job of getting it. But there's this whole mountainous region next to the statue of Christ with the antennas on top, and they have this very complex network of downhill mountain bike trails. So let me point you in that direction so you can take a look. But all through here, there's all these trails that twist and turn all the way down and around, down to the beach there. Really intense downhill mountain biking. I don't know if you can see it, but way off in the distance there, you got some mountain bikers riding up that steep road. And then the other thing too, when you come into these other countries, over South Americans, you do have a lot of poverty that you can see in these areas, and a lot of the poor people do build their shanties and their houses up on the hills because they're kind of driven out of the city. So it's really opposite the United States. The United States, the fancy houses are on top of the hill, and here it's just the opposite. It's like they're driven out of the center of the city up into the hills where they kind of, you know, have to live, or only place maybe they can live. So really enjoying my time. I try to, with Grava, we try to do work and then also take some time to explore. And I really just thought it'd be a good idea to put this on YouTube and just share with everybody this adventure that I'm on, this business adventure, where we get to work with people, some fantastic people, find some great people, and then take some time to learn about these cultures and communities. So don't forget to like and subscribe. You could buy, this is a tech shirt with our new design on it here, a Grava design. It's perfect to ride on a mountain bike or do a bike adventure on it. Basically, it's a running shirt that we're just putting our logo on the front and back. And I've been carrying this Grava backpack with me this whole time, and it's just really simple, easy to use. And the great thing about the Grava backpack, you can't steal out of it. So if you're wearing it, it's a rollover top backpack. Nobody's taking anything out of it. You know those backpacks with the zippers and stuff on it? Well, that's easy on a bus, or you're walking for somebody to get behind you and open up your zipper and take something out. The Grava backpack, it's not gonna happen because it's clipped in 3 places and rolled over. So think about buying the Grava backpack. And yeah, stay tuned for more, as tomorrow we are flying to Colombia to go talk to some great clothing manufacturers in Medellin, Colombia, and do some adventures there. So until then, I'll talk to you later. Bye.